Scientific experiments that went too far in the past. Welcome back to the channel where we explore the most disturbing and bizarre aspects of history that your teachers never dared to mention. Today we're diving into truly dark territory. Scientific experiments that crossed every imaginable ethical line and went beyond what any sane mind should conceive. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to discover will make you question how far humanity has been capable of going in the name of science and progress. Before we begin this disturbing journey through history's most macabre laboratories, don't forget to hit the like button if you have enough courage to face these historical truths. And if you want to keep discovering the darkest secrets that history hides, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell, because what's coming next is even more shocking than you imagine. Josef Mengelé's Laboratory of Horrors. When we talk about experiments that went too far, it's impossible not to start with the name that became synonymous with scientific evil, Josef Mengele, the Angel of Death of Auschwitz. But what many don't know is that the horrors this man perpetrated in the name of science went beyond even the most well-known accounts of the Holocaust. Mengele wasn't just a Nazi doctor thirsty for power. He was a man obsessed with the idea of creating a superior race through methods that defied any concept of humanity. In his makeshift laboratory inside the concentration camp, he conducted experiments that would make even horror movie screenwriters recoil in horror. Imagine twin children being separated from their families not for protection, but to serve as human guinea pigs in experiments of pain resistance, genetic modification, and organ transplantation. Mengele had a particular obsession with twins, believing he could unravel the secrets of heredity through procedures that included injecting chemicals directly into eyes to try to change iris color, surgeries without anesthesia to test resistance limits, and even attempts to create artificial Siamese twins by sewing children together. But here's the most disturbing detail. Mengele wasn't considered a lunatic by his peers. He had respectable medical training, a doctorate in anthropology and medicine, and was seen as a promising scientist before joining the Nazi Party. This leads us to a terrifying question. How many other respectable scientists throughout history have crossed similar lines in the name of knowledge? The University of Tennessee Body Farm. Now, you might think that this type of extreme experimentation was restricted to the horrors of World War II, but you'd be wrong. Let's travel back in time to 1971, when Dr. William Bass, a forensic anthropologist at the University of Tennessee, decided he needed a place to study human body decomposition in a more scientific way. What started as a small 1.3-acre research area transformed into what became known as the Body Farm, the Corpse Farm. But don't be fooled by the seemingly innocent name. This place became an open-air laboratory where hundreds of human bodies were left to rot under different conditions, all in the name of forensic science. Cadavers were buried at different depths, left exposed to the sun, submerged in water, locked in cars, wrapped in plastic. Any situation that could simulate a real crime scene. Researchers methodically observed how bodies decomposed, documenting each stage of putrefaction with details that would make even experienced pathologists nauseated. The most disturbing part? Most of these bodies came from donations from people who had no idea their mortal remains would be used so explicitly. Families who thought they were making a noble contribution to science discovered years later that their loved ones had been left in the open to serve as scientific fertilizer. And before you think this is a thing of the past, know that there are at least 6 of these active farms in the United States today, with new ones being proposed regularly. The line between legitimate scientific research and morbid voyeurism has never been so thin. Donald Hebb's sensory deprivation experiments. But not all extreme experiments involve death and physical mutilation. Sometimes scientists decided to torture the human mind in even more subtle and devastating ways. Enter the 1950s and 1960s, when psychologist Donald Hebb at McGill University in Canada decided to explore the limits of human perception through something seemingly simple, removing all sensory stimuli from a person. The experiment began as an investigation into the effects of sensory deprivation, but quickly transformed into something much more sinister. University students were paid generously to lie in completely silent rooms wearing translucent goggles that drastically limited vision, gloves and sleeves that reduced touch, and were exposed only to the constant sound of an air conditioner. What Heb expected to LA